Hey, kia ora, Helen, Brahms here, live from Sun City in Arizona. I am super excited today. Welcome to a super fantastic sparkly tune-up Tuesday. So instead of doing tweaks and changes today, well, I kind of sort of wasn't doing tweaks and changes, but because of what I got delivered today, I just might be persuaded so I get to try new stuff out. Oh. And what is it? I'll tell you in a moment. But first of all, how was your tune-up Tuesday? Did you make any tweaks and changes? Today was all about music, based on the different activities that we were doing, as to which playlists we were playing at the time. If you're just doing regular work, there's just general 80s music playing. If I needed a break, get up and dance to some of the 80s music. Sometimes it was country. If I needed to concentrate, it was classical music. Don't know what it is about Baroque. Is it Baroque? I think it's Baroque. But that just helps me concentrate when I'm reading. If I needed to get some motivation, I have a little playlist that has Katy Perry's Roar on there. It has Alicia Keys' This Girl's on Fire. What are the other ones that are on there? I can't remember. Mine just suddenly went. So it depends on what mood it was in that I was in today. What I needed to do as to which playlist got played. And I have long playlists. But the only thing I can't figure out is that I have playlists on my phone. I've got playlists and they're about the same and different to what's on my laptop. And then on my Mac here, I have to reload the playlist. You can't share the playlists, even though it's the same account. You can't share the playlist between, what are they calling it now? It used to be iTunes. I don't know what they're calling it now. But you can't share the playlist between your devices, even though it's all the same Apple ID account. I'm just sort of like, there is something wrong with that. But that's okay. I have it on the laptop. I have it on my phone. I don't really need it on the computer since I either have one or both devices right here with me. So that's not a problem. We can work around that. So that's okay. But Apple, if you are listening, it would be nice to be able to share my purchased tunes on my playlists between devices. That would be a very nice little touch. Thank you very much. That's just my suggestion today. But anyway, so super excited today because I got some cool stuff. I got my AC fan delivered. It's currently going in the bedroom. It's just using refrigerated water right now because I totally forgot to put the ice trays in the freezer. But you can put chunks of. Oh, hang on. I'll have to investigate that during the daylight. I just remembered they have a water filter machine up at the thing where you can take and get a gallon of water for like a quarter, and then they've got an ice maker there as well. I don't know what it costs to get the ice out of the ice maker, but oh jeepers, hang on. Excuse me. When are we getting to? One right now. Okay. I was cleaning out the bedroom fan earlier because there was a lot of dust and dirt on it, and I was kind of inhaling that at the same time, so it got up in my nose and in my throat. And the whole way we were doing our walk tonight, I was hacking away trying to get this dust out of my throat because I was cleaning that out because that one oscillates, whereas my one down there that did oscillate don't oscillate no more. You just got to point in a direction, it just blows. So I decided to put the bedroom one down there, but when I picked it up, it was all gunk and dust and everything else, so cleaned it out as best I could, and of course ended up inhaling some of those dust particles. It's like, yeah, I really don't need those in my chest right now. But we got the other one set up in there. I could only use refrigerated water. I didn't have any ice made, so I've got a couple of trays of water in the fridge in the freezer turning into ice cubes. Hopefully it'll be done by the morning, and then tomorrow we can give it a really good test. But even with just the refrigerated water in there, it is making a difference. In the bedroom. It's only a slight difference, but the temperature in the room feels cooler. Whether the thermostat shows it or not, I don't know, but it just feels cooler in the bedroom when I went in there. And when we left for the walk, it's like 80 degrees in there. And I happened to be up near the head of the bed. I will tell you, this is how hot these outside walls get. So in the bedroom on the west-facing wall, which is my passenger side, I have a pop-out, which is like what I'm sitting in now, but this one has the head of the bed in it. And I was moving some of Zeffie's blankets around because it had got tucked down between the mattress and the wall, and I couldn't put the mattress back on the bed properly. So I'm pulling them all out. These things are coming out like hot. She's got hot blankets on the bed. I'm like, what the heck? And I feel the wall, and you can feel the heat coming through the wall. It was 101 degrees outside. You could feel the heat coming through the wall. And whatever was touching the outside wall was coming away hot. And I was sort of like, I don't know if I like this. But last summer we survived 120-degree days, so we should be fine. I just have to be cautious of that. And anything leading up, and this was even coming through the headboard area, but it was hotter if it was direct, if her blankets were directly touching the wall. It was quite intense, and I was sort of like, that's kind of amazing. So it shows you how insulated these RVs are. Not very. So I got the fan. That's all set up. It's got some cold water in there. Hang on. Oh, it was you. My dog makes this RV shudder. Like she'll go up somewhere and like she goes to lay down on the bed or something, and she just plops herself, and the RV goes shaking. And I just heard this thud and plot, and what the heck was that? And it was her laying down in her crate. She just went pop. She's only 37 pounds, but she can shake an RV just by going and plopping down on her bed in her crate or on the bed in the bed, wherever she just turns and turns and turns, and it just drops. And it's when she does that drop that you get the thud and the shaking of the vehicle. But the other thing I got today too with my fan was this. And you're probably going to go, what is this? It has a pen loop, and it's a tri-colored pen. Now I like the 4 quads one, but this has got black, blue, and red, so it's a tri-colored pen. Some sort of notebook or something. Yeah, look what's inside. If those that don't know me, I am a post-it-aholic. I'm a chocoholic and a post-it. I love post-its. I love books. I love chocolate. And so I got this. And you're probably going, okay, it's just full of sticky notes. But if you notice, they're a little shiny. And they're shiny because they're waterproof. And get this. They're transparent. Oh, you want to play? Okay, there's your ball. These are transparent sticky notes. And you can write on them with ballpoint pens, with I think gel markers are the other ones. You can't do any waterproof markers. Pencil, you can write on them with pencil as well. But even the colored ones. Hang on, I'm gonna get these little things here. They're transparent too. So you can actually get your books out. So we've got Ellery Queen here. We're reading Ellery Queen right now. You can get your books out. You can stick these on here, and you can use. And hang on, they have the little guys down the bottom. Oops, hang on. They got the little guys down the bottom there that you can do. Hang on, I gotta figure out which way these things come up. But you need to highlight something on the page, and you don't want to use a highlighter. Look at that. Can you imagine note-taking these days now? And you can go and do this. And I know one of the problems I have when I'm note-taking is that when I write something in pen and then I want to go highlight it, it smears. I can now put these on it and have the pages flagged and everything. And if I wanted to, I could use these ones here, which even come with the little tabs on them. These got tabs. And these ones have got tabs. And these ones have got tabs, and tabs. So I can, and then I can write my notes directly over top of things and that sort of thing when I'm highlighting something in a book. Because when I read, I like to take notes when I read. Fiction, not as much. Although, because I'm part of a mystery book club. Now, you're giving me your ball. Okay, I'll look after it here then, shall I? Okay. Because we're reading mystery books, there's things that I want to highlight, like it could be a comment, but I don't want to do it in the fiction books because if I get to the end of the book and I decide, I don't think I'm going to read that again, I'll donate it to the library. And I just go through and take out my little, where did that tag go? You'd think the bright, oh, there it is. I found it. Then I can go through and take these tags out after I've done all my notes and everything from the book and just go donate it to the library like I did with the last one. So that was kind of exciting. But not only did I get the little booklet with the little tabs on them, I've got another pack which has, and these are all transparent. Okay, so I've got these transparent ones, And then we have a variety of colors, the green, the thing. This one here, it says record life. So this one actually has lines on it so you can write over it. Yellow, clear. This one has notes. Blue. This one is for a project. This one's got grids on it. Oops. This one's got a thing on the outside, and this one's got blue. And these are all transparent. And I was like, oh my goodness. And all of a sudden, my note-taking just took on a whole new level as my brains were sparked with light, which is why I said that I was done with everything for the day, but I might find something to do. Just so I get to play with the new sticky notes. But yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, let me see the blue. See, there's the blue. But yeah, and so I'm just so like stoked that I now have sticky notes that I can actually see through, because half the time when I'm taking notes, I already have paper versions of. I have a paper version folder of this with all the little note things in it. The problem I have with that is that when I stick it in my book with the notes, and I put like a to-do list on, sometimes I will use these big ones here for a to-do list, and I've got ones with lines on them, and I'll use it as a to-do list. Well, now in my notebook, when I'm writing my notes out, especially when I'm doing masterminding or at workshops and stuff, I can now stick one of these on there. I'm not putting it over. I'm putting it over what's already written there, but I can still see through. Yay! So I'm not. I now have two balls here, and she's not coming up because she knows the camera's on. Come here, you want your balls? Come on. This one, why doesn't this one squeak? Did you just. There was a little rattle there. Did you destroy the squeaky in this one? I think you might have. Clever girl, you. Go play with that one. Then you can try that one. Whoop. Oh my God, that was. Sorry, Zeffy, I didn't mean to. So I threw one ball. She goes running after. She stops to pick it up. I throw the other ball. It got a boom right in the butt. And she spun around. There's nothing. I'm sorry, Zeffy. I didn't mean to hit you in the butt with the other ball. Now she has both balls in front of her. I'm sorry, sweetie girl. I didn't mean to whack you in the butt with the ball. I'm sorry. Okay, release, release, release. Good girl. She's only just silenced that one because that one was squeaking before when I first took it off her. And then I threw it for her, and then she killed the squeak. But yeah, so I'm super excited about these sticky notes, because now it's going to mean that I can use them when I'm taking notes. I can lay them over other notes I've already written. I can use them in my fiction books when I want to take notes that I want to bring up during book discussion time. And then I can take them out afterwards, and I can then leave the book at the library. So I'm super excited about all these transparent sticky notes. They're going to be my new favorite toy. I get excited about the simplest of things. And I left the link for it down in the description below the video too, if you are interested in transparent sticky notes. It's going to give a whole new level to textbooks. And I mean, just think of using that for textbooks where you don't have to write in the textbook, so you can later go and sell them without your notes in there. I think I might have put it in a place you can't get to it. All right, she got it. But anyway, so yes, so I'm super excited about the sticky notes. This is turning into a good book. I started reading this. Got just over a week to read it, and I looked at the thing and went, "Oh, I got it a week from Saturday. We're going to be discussing this book." Then I got a nice surprise in my email today. They released the books for the next 5 months. So we've got this one is June's book, and then we have coming up. Where did I put that list? Oh yeah, here it is. So we're doing Chinese Orange Mystery by Ellery Queen on June 25th. In July, we're doing Murder at the Book Club. August 27th, we're doing Blood Work by Michael Connelly. September 24th, I'm looking forward to this one because it's a really good movie. So, and I don't think I've read this book. Maybe I did ages ago. I haven't really John McClare for eons. We're doing Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. In October, we're doing The Word is Murder by Anthony Horowitz. He's actually a really good author. If you've never, he's the guy behind Alex Rider. the Alex Rider books. They're really good books, and they're young adult books, but I read the whole series because my oldest nephew, was into reading them, and it gave us something to talk about. And but Alex Rider is about like 11 or something like that, and he gets trained by the British equivalent to the CIA, and he trains with all of their paratroopers and SAS and all those sorts of guys too. So, and they send him in as a kid to different places because he can get in and around a lot of the places that the adults can't. Really, really good series of books. But I have never read any of his adult books. So this is called The Word is Murder. So I'm curious to see that. And then in November, we're reading Sworn to Silence. But we gave him a list of 16 different books, and I actually wrote down all 16 books. And I don't know what to do with that notebook. Oh, it's over there. I have a stack of notebooks over there. So if it's not here, it's there. And we had like 16 different suggestions and stuff. So they went through the list and picked out the ones they wanted to. None of the ones I recommend that I came up with are in there, but that's okay. I was just a new girl on the block. It was my first meeting with them, so they probably need to get to know me a little bit to see what type of books that I choose. But one of the books I chose was The Millionaires by what's the guy's name? Brad Meltzer. And it's about these two brothers that end up on the run, and they have this whole mystery that they have to solve while staying alive and trying to find out because they both work in this very private bank, and it's a private bank that you do not walk in and ask to open an account. You have to be invited. So you have a minimum net worth in order to even be on their list to invite. And so they find this sort of like dead account when nobody owns any of the money that's in there. It's just sitting there, and the older brother gets a little pissed off with the bank because of a letter of recommendation that was written. So he knew he wasn't going anywhere. He was going to be stuck in this job forever. And so he's telling his brother about this, and his younger brother is kind of like the younger brother character. And so they find out about this account that has this $3 million sitting in there. And they said, well, let's just take it. Nobody's going to know anything else. The only problem is that when they take it, there's a little more than $3 million in there. And then starts this whole chase, and that takes them all over the place. From where they are, it takes them around the country a little bit. People chasing them, they're trying to figure out who's chasing them, where did this money come from, what's the, where did all this money come from, who's it meant to be for, what the heck's going on with this money, and people are being killed along the way, and who killed them, and all of this sort of stuff. So, and who do they trust, who do they not trust? There's lots of twists and turns in there. So a really good action mystery type of book. I'm looking. I haven't read it. Let's see. The last time I read it was probably about a year or two before Brad passed. So it's been about 6 or 7 years since I've last read it, and I'm ready to read it again. And it's a book I have read multiple times. And I told them that I've read this book multiple times. It's been 6 or 7 years since I've last read it, and I'm ready to read it again. And people are like, it's a mystery book. Why do you read it again? I said, because I get stuck. And this is the thing, that if you know me and know my reading, so I like to read just about anything. And I will get a phrase or a set. I could be doing I don't know what. And all of a sudden, something that I'm doing will prompt me on something that I have read. And I'm going, now, what book was that in? And then the scene starts unfolding in my head, and I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure that's the author of that book. Now, which one of their books is it? And the scene just starts playing in my head, and I'm like, and then I'll remember the name of the book. And I'm like, well, how the hell did they get in that situation? Was that the one? No, that wasn't the one where that person did this. And so now I'm trying to unravel, it's just a scene out of a book that I've read. I can't get it out of my head. I don't know if it's at the beginning of the book, the end of the book, somewhere in the middle, and I don't know how they got to that situation. So sort of like, okay, when I finish reading one of the books that I'm reading, because I have 5 to 6 books on a go at any one time, never more than that, never more than 6. It gets too confusing once I hit 7. So when I finish reading one of the books I'm reading, I will then go pick that book up and start reading it again until I come across. And I'm like, I get to the end and go, that's right. And now I remember all that bit up, and then I start getting a little, okay, well, we've got to finish anyway because I don't remember how this book finishes, or I know how it finishes, but how do they get there from here? So it's like filling in the blanks. So some of my, and even if it's a mystery book, I don't care, because mystery books, action books, it doesn't matter what type of book it is. I want to know how they get from, how did they get to that scene, and what happened at the end of that scene, and where did it go? Like, for instance, right now, I'm re-listening to, because I listen to audiobooks as well. Audiobooks do not count as books being read, by the way. They're a whole bunch. I do a whole, they don't count in my 5 to 6. They're completely different. 5 to 6 is actually either physically holding the book and reading it, or reading it on my Kindle. So yes, I still have audiobooks on the go. So this audiobook, like at the moment, I'm going through the whole Jack Reacher series again. And I'm up to either book 8 or 9, I can't remember which. But I'm listening to them all over again. And like we get to it, and I'm like, and I got to one book and I'm like, I don't remember this book. Huh. And then there'll be a little, something will trip the memory, and I go, oh yeah, now I remember the book. And off I go. Like, I know the very first book, The Killing Field, is the one that they used for the Reacher series, the Amazon original Reacher series, which was 6 parts. How many times I've watched it? 4. Then I went and read the book again. Thought, okay, I can see where they cut out the surplus. You know, they condensed it down a little bit, so I can see which parts they left out, which parts they left in. Oh, well, I read that, might as well carry on and read the rest. And I'm reading One Shot, which was made into a movie with Tom Cruise, and that movie is Jack Reacher. And then the next book I am reading after this one, I think, is the next one they're making into the movie. See, it depends if this is if I'm listening to book 8, or if I'm listening to book 9. And I don't have my phone here because I have the reading list on my phone. But book 10 is the one that they're going to be making as season 2 for Reacher, for their Amazon original Reacher series. So they're going to be making, book 10 is going to be their second season. So I'm almost at that one. So either it's the next book I'm reading, or it's the one after the next one. And then there's another book, Never Go Back, which was made into the movie as well. And that was Tom Cruise's second role as Jack Reacher. Yeah. So, and like One Shot I'm reading right now, I happened to watch the movie the other day, and I was sort of like, the movie's very choppy. It doesn't flow. There was just something missing. Besides the fact that Tom Cruise is not as big as Reacher is. Reacher in the book is described as 6'5", 250 pounds of solid muscle. Like, he has no body fat. And in one book, they described his hands as being the size of a dinner plate or something. I don't know. But the guy who plays Reacher in the Amazon original series, the Amazon original TV series, he is 6'2", I think he is. The guy that plays him is 6'2", but he's built. And everybody, and I'm in a Facebook group for the Lee Child fans, the Jack Reacher fans, and they are absolutely praising the choice of actor for Jack Reacher this time. When that was announced, Tom Cruise was going to be Jack Reacher, everybody's like, absolutely not. The guy's 5'6", 5'7", 5'8", somewhere around there. Yeah, a little shorter than 6'5". But when it was announced who was playing Reacher in the Amazon original, all the fans were absolutely delighted with the option and the choices. I don't think I saw anybody with a bad comment about the guy that plays the role, because he, to them, is the book character in person. And when you read the description of the Jack Reacher character, you can actually see that even though he's actually in real life 3 inches shorter than the book character, he still has that massive presence that they were trying to get. And that's why Lee Childs one time said that's how he wrote Jack Reacher to be the 6'5", 225 pounds or 250 pounds, somewhere around there, of solid muscle, was because he wanted this guy to have a presence whenever he walked into a room. And that was the whole idea behind that. And so anyway, I'll go all over the place tonight. I'm going to go make myself a protein shake, sit down, put my feet up, maybe do some word puzzles. I feel like doing some word puzzles. Maybe I'm going to do that this evening. What do you think, Zeph? I finished my Law and Order UK. I finished all 8 seasons of that. That was a good series. That was actually a really good series. I actually understood some of their legal stuff and all of that sort of thing, and could see the difference between UK and US law. after watching Law and Order US and over the years and that sort of thing as well. So that was really cool how they did all that. And I love their little wigs that they put on. Anyway, I may even go and play with my new transparent Post-it notes. Yes, super excited to be using these. See? Transparent. So anyway, go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening. Tomorrow is Winning Wednesday. Tomorrow is also my second presentation for my Polka Dots chapter. They've got their second meeting of the month on tomorrow, so I get to do my 20-minute presentation again tomorrow morning, and I'm super excited about that. And this time I'm going to pay more attention to the clock, because last time I ran out of time. And I've been back over my notes again thinking, it's all there. It's just how much do I sidetrack or waffle? Get in there, let's get precise, keep the emotion in there and that sort of thing too, so you actually are telling a story. And we'll see where we go from there. So I will report to you tomorrow night on how that goes. Which reminds me, I also have to send an email to my accountability coach tomorrow, because we'll be missing our accountability call due to the fact that I will be talking to about 30 to 40 people tomorrow morning. So go have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow for Winning Wednesday. Hey, Kanara.